Welcome back. The true extent of death and destruction in the Sikkim floods is only now coming to light. A cloudburst over the South Lachen Lake resulted in a flash flood that poured into the Teesta 3 dam and caused havoc downstream. Now, according to both Reuters and the Associated Foreign Press, the death toll has climbed to 40. Over 100 people are still missing. The Sikkim government will be issuing a fresh update at 7 p.m. this evening. These flash floods have caused massive destruction in North Sikkim. The swollen Teesta River has submerged most of the towns that are nearby, not just towns. Sikkim's biggest hydropower project, the Teesta 3 dam, has been washed away. It was built at a cost of over 14,000 crore rupees just 6 years ago. Teesta 4 and Teesta 6 hydropower stations have also been impacted by these flash floods and have had to be shut down. Roads and bridges have been destroyed. The centre has now approved 45 crore rupees as immediate relief to the battered state. Now, the Lachen Lake cloudburst caused the Teesta River to send the water downstream the Chungthang Dam. The floodwater barrier of the dam was broken as huge amounts of water entered the dam suddenly, destroying the power infrastructure before moving downstream and eventually flooding towns and villages. Visuals of devastation are on your screens. Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang, meanwhile, is saying that substandard construction of the dam is the reason behind it breaching the waters. Meanwhile, continued efforts are currently on to dig out vehicles that are submerged in the slush. This as Sikkim continues to count the cost of their damage. Take a look at these pictures that have come in from Bardang. And take a look at this. Our silent heroes continuing to save lives of those who are stuck in flooded areas. These are rescue teams working tirelessly day and night to save lives. This is how they do it. This is the NDRF team that is at work on your screens right now, ladies and gentlemen. Now, only a trail of death, devastation, destruction as far as our side goes. This is Sikkim's picture right now. The question is, what happened in Sikkim on the night of October 3rd and 4th? Could the Sikkim disaster have been averted? Is the Sikkim disaster man-made? The answer to all those questions is a big and resounding yes. North Sikkim's South Lachen Glacial Lake, which is also the epicenter of the massive flash flood, witnessed a significant growth in the last 3 decades due to glacial retreat. In fact, this lake in itself increased 3 times in the last 30 years. An international study had predicted that the lake will burst in the future, so there were warnings. Researchers had warned about this 2 years ago as well, and yet all warnings were ignored. There were warning signs as well that the lake will burst and significantly impact the downstream region, and that is exactly what happened on October 3rd. The glacial lake had been bursting at its seams after more than tripling in size from 0.42 square kilometer to 1.35 square kilometer in less than 3 decades. South Lachen Lake was always a potential risk for GLOF, but the signs were ignored by the government and authorities. Not just that, CAG's warnings about the 1200 megawatt dam Teesta Stage 3 hydropower project at Chungthang was also ignored. Its commercial operations began in 2017 and the CAG had flagged its shoddy planning right from the beginning. And exactly what the CAG said, predicted has happened. The dam was breached within minutes when the glacial lake spilled over. Meanwhile, scientists and researchers say that a greater danger awaits us. It's an indication that the lives of about 30 lakh Indians living in vulnerable areas of 6 Himalayan states and union territories, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, could see similar tragedies in the future as well. Let me try and go across to Bikash Basnet, who's the press secretary of Sikkim's chief minister. Bikash, I know the signal is not very clear in Sikkim right now, whether it's phone signals, whether it is internet signals because of what has happened. But can I start by asking you what the situation in Sikkim is right now? Where has the death toll reached? Could you unmute yourself, Bikash? Bikash, could you unmute yourself? We can't hear you. Okay, the overflowing Teesta has also caused damage in West Bengal. At least two people have lost their lives and 5 have been injured in West Bengal's Jalpaiguri as a mortar shell reportedly carried by flood waters exploded. This mortar shell was found floating in the Teesta river and 2 people lost their lives while trying to open the shells. Now, according to the police, the mortar shells belonged to the army and was carried by flood waters flowing down the hills following the cloudburst and flash floods in Sikkim on Wednesday. In fact, the army has warned that there will be more such ammunition that will float down the Teesta and people need to be extremely careful while handling it. Let me try and go across to Bikash once again. Bikash, we understand the signal is not very strong, so we appreciate you trying to connect with us for a second time today. Could you tell us what the situation on the ground is right now? Where has the death toll reached?
The situation is very worst over here because since yesterday only it's raining heavily in the Sikkim. So rescue work is underway. Till today morning, death toll was 19, but I guess it has gone up. Like 4 or 5 more dead bodies have been recovered from the various areas that has been devastated by this major flood, and more than 2,500 people has been so far rescued and kept in the temporary shelters made by government of Sikkim. And our Honorable Chief Minister is continuously monitoring the situation himself. And more than 5 platoons of NDRF team is tirelessly working in the rescue operation. Army is working. Also, state administration is continuously helping the people. Right now, we are having the problem of network because all the major fiber wires that was underlying in the roadside have been cut off. Also, towers are affected by landslide. We are expecting to get it repaired as soon as possible. There are major cracks in state highways. Also, National Highway 10 is totally cut off, which connects to Bengal and other rest of the country. We are in connection with the government of India as well as West Bengal government. We are trying to get roads be repaired. Also, we are getting our this essentials from alternative roads, that is from Lava, which takes almost 9 hours of journey from Siliguri to Gangtok.
Because what you're telling us is important. You're telling us that the national highway that connects Sikkim to West Bengal and therefore the rest of the country has been washed away. So that will be priority. Restoring that national highway will be priority. That will not happen very soon, we know, given the fact that it continues to rain in Sikkim as we speak, which is why search and rescue operations are still not where they need to be. Can I then ask you, because you're telling us 19 people confirmed dead, but the death toll will, of course, rise because there's a fresh update we are expecting by the Sikkim government at 7 o'clock. Could you tell us how many people are missing and what else apart from the internet is something that Sikkim doesn't have right now? What about power supply? What about food? What about vegetable? What about milks? Is that in place in North Sikkim?
So far, 103 people, civilians are missing, as well as 22 army personnel are missing. Rescue operation is underway. We are having shortage of food, but government is trying our best to get food from alternative routes that is connecting by lava, and we are bringing up the food and other stuffs to Sikkim. Basically, we are focusing on North Sikkim, northern part of Sikkim, where areas like Lachen, and Chungthang has been totally cut off from the rest of the part of the state. We are trying to airlift tourists stranded over there. More than 3,000 tourists have been stranded in the Lachen and Chungthang Valley. Today, army helicopters tried to airlift them, but this could not land because of bad weather. Hopefully, we are expecting to airlift them tomorrow, and we will airlift up to Mangan, and from Mangan, we'll arrange them to send to Siliguri, and from Siliguri, I think they will manage to go to their homes. But luckily, all tourists are safe because where the major this incident occurred in Chungthang, because tourists were not at the Chungthang, they were above Chungthang, which is Lachen, Lachung, and other areas. And today there were acute shortage of fuels, but luckily today one of the state highway got opened, and we could bring fuels to the petrol pumps from the depot, which was located in Rampur, that is the border town of Sikkim.
Okay, so 3,000 tourists who are still stranded in Chungthang. Thankfully, it's at a higher region. It's not where the glacial lake is, which is why they got saved. Now the challenge is to try.
Chungthang is the actual place where there's a dam was damaged, but those tourists stranded were in the Lachen and Lachung areas. But the thing is that connectivity has been totally washed away, because we are trying to get connected. One of the the state team has already reached by hiking up to the Lachen and Lachung Valley. They are in connection with tourists over there. But the thing is that we don't have appropriate data, because all the radar, this army radar has also been affected. There is no communication, but almost all tourists are safe in the Lachen and Lachung Valley, because our Sikkim has a good nature of hospitality to the guests, and over there in Lachen, Lachung, people are serving at their own to the tourist standard there in their places. Okay. Yes, please.
Bikash, today the
Shreya.
Chief Minister of the state, the man you are representing on this show, Bikash, has gone on record to say that the reason why the dam burst was because of substandard quality of construction. It was made just operational 6 years ago. 14,000 crore rupees were spent. Why is the Chief Minister saying what he is saying? Is he ignoring the fact that the glacial lake that burst and therefore flooded the dam had been bursting to the seams and had actually tripled in size in the last 3 decades?
No, actually, the actual reason is the cloudburst in the Lunar Lake. That is the major fact. But when the river came into the downstream area, that there was a major dam which was there in the Chungthang, which was commissioned in the year February 2017. But that dam could not resist the high velocity of the water, and that dam was made substandard by the previous government. It was warned in 2013 as well by the central government, but at that time, then government doesn't care to make it in the proper standard. So dam could not resist the pressure, and it bursted away, and all the waters came in the downward area. And below that, there were 2-3 dams which is made by NHPC, National Hydro Project Commission, that is the undertaking company of the government of India. These dams were not damaged, but the main damage was at the Chungthang, which was made by the Teesta Urja Stage 3 dam. So this is the main reason when
but Bikash, while I understand a considerable degree of damage has been caused, okay, while I understand the actual degree of damage downstream has been caused because of the breaking of this dam, not because it carried a lot of water downstream, but it also carried all that construction material downstream as well, absolutely smashing all homes and absolutely anything that came on its way. Let's not forget the glacial lake as well that had been expanding. There were warnings, you know, as recently as 2 years ago. For example, many experts are asking, where was the early warning system? If you had an early warning system, then at least you would have had a 90-minute window for evacuations.
Yes, I agree with your point, but at that time, our prime concern is to rescue people, and we could give them better facility. Our Honorable Chief Minister have already announced, and recently, right now, like 1 hour before also in his press statement, he has mentioned that there will be the inquiry commission. There will be the high-level inquiry commission to inquire the what exactly happened. Then after, if there is anyone who has done any negative thing or who is liable for this loss, then he will be not spared by the government of Sikkim. He has already mentioned in his press briefing. So that damage escalation
Okay, Bikash,
and what went wrong, that will be studied in the future. But right now, our prime concern is to save our people, to give better facilities in the rescue operation as well as relief camp. I would like to appeal all our countrymen to join hands with the people of Sikkim, because we are facing in very bad situation. Because when there's a crisis happened in Himachal Pradesh, not Himachal Pradesh, in Uttarakhand. At that time, everyone came. But Sikkim is a little bit far from the national capital, as well as it is totally disconnected with the national mainstream media. So situation is same as Uttarakhand. The velocity of the damage was made, I think, more than that, because if you see the range that it comes from the Lachen, and it has gone down to the Rampu. It has covered almost say 300 kilometers of journey. So in all this river basin, those who are residing in the basin of Teesta River, damage have incurred heavily. Like there were small industries, there were garages, there were small businesses, labor class staying in this belt. They have affected a lot. So I appeal everyone to come forward for the Sikkim.
Okay, Bikash,
Yes,
then can I
yes,
very
Shreya.
quickly ask you as a wrap, what is it that Sikkim needs right now from the people of India?
We need is we have opened up the portal for Chief Minister Relief Fund. I appeal everyone to come forward and donate in Chief Minister Relief Fund so that we could use that fund to rescue people, to rebuild lives of the people. Also, you can support in various ways. I appeal all our government agencies, especially central government agencies, to kindly look forward for the people of Sikkim, and also kindly look seriously for the rebuilding the roads and other amenities, because these roads are not only the lifeline of the people, it also covers the lifeline of the army, because Sikkim covers almost all the border areas of Sikkim covers with the international shares with the international borders. In these international borders, it covers it touches China, and we share border with Bhutan, Nepal. So strategically, to see the defense part also, I think army supply has been totally stopped, and we need immediate restoration of NS10 so that army could function. If anything happened, if I pray to God that there will be no any untoward situation, there will be no any war. But if anything happened at this time of distress situation, then there will be the huge problem to tackle down, especially for our Indian army residing in the borders.
Okay,
Yes,
Bikash, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Bikash is joining us from Sikkim, and he's telling us exactly what the situation on the ground is. Just to recap for our viewers, it continues to rain in Sikkim, which is why search and rescue operations have become very, very tough right now as we speak. At least 19 people are dead, but that figure will go up substantially, is what Bikash is telling us. The Associated Foreign Press is already reporting, and Reuters is already reporting, that the number is 41. We are expecting a fresh update anytime soon. He's also telling us, Bikash is also telling us, that NH10, which connects Sikkim with the rest of the country, West Bengal, and therefore the rest of the country, that highway, national highway, has been completely washed away. So priority is right now to restore that highway so that Sikkim is linked with the rest of the country. Thirdly, an appeal has come from Bikash for help from the rest of India. He's saying what Sikkim needs right now is immediate relief. The central government, ladies and gentlemen, just today has approved some 45,000 crore rupees as immediate relief to the state of Sikkim. That's the situation in Sikkim right now, not looking good as we speak. In fact, we still don't know the true extent of the damage that has been caused. That will come only 5 to 10 days later. But right now, the entire effort of the state machinery, the entire effort of the armed forces is to try and get people who are stuck to safety. For example, there are 3,000 people who are still stuck in a particular area. They've not been rescued simply because army helicopters are not being able to land because of the rains there. At least 125 people, including some soldiers, continue to be missing in the state of Sikkim.